number one, first and foremost, take some of that bass out your voice. Okay? That's number one. Take some of that bass out your voice. Number two, you are her heir. She done said it, she done meant it, and she ain't never said no, never mind to nobody else about who your daddy was. To her, your daddy was Lenore Valerian. Okay? Valerian. Corliss baby that ran away to go have juices and berries and oranges over in the places across the sea. I don't know where those places are called. I can't think of it right now. Hello, and thank you for tuning in to Embrace My Melanin. Guys, we are on episode 7 of season 2 of House of the Dragon. Listen here. This was a good episode, y'all. This was such a good episode. But let's get on with the quick hot takes, and then let's get into the deep stuff after I give these hot takes. And we got a good bit of quick hot takes, okay? First hot take is we're going to do a RIP, a rest in peace to Sir Hugh baby. Sir Hugh and his wife, they done lost their little girl. That's so sad, and, we sad for him, but, unfortunately, he lost his baby. R.I.P. to her. Sorry, poor thing. She ain't stood a chance. If Sir Hugh would just have listened to his wife and left the city, but I digress, okay? Next up, quick take. Aegon is healing really, really fast, considering that, he was burned to a crisp, and just 2 weeks ago, we didn't know if the brother was going to live, okay? We did not know if Aegon was going to live, and, his skin was all flayed and stuff. They must be got some really good aloe vera back then in the Westeros. Okay, in the Westerosi world, they probably got some really good aloe vera. Now, mind you, his ear, it ain't coming back because it's all shriveled up, but he hobbling around, with the help of the maester and stuff, and, and all that jazz, and, he in pain still, but considering that, just a couple weeks ago, he looked burnt to a crisp, and everything was pussy and oozy, and they didn't know if he was gonna live. He coming along pretty good. So we ain't all lost Aegon yet, y'all. Alley Cat. So Alley Cat don't know what she gonna do with herself now that her boo thing ain't there, cause Crispin Chicks and her brother Gawain, they done rolled off into some battle or whatnot. I think they was going to last week where the Lannisters was ready to do battle with last week or whatever. So he done gone off, and now because she ain't sitting on the city council. Is it city council? It's the small council. Now that she ain't sitting on the small council no more. Well, her son did say that, she got some domestic stuff that she got to get to, like, go ahead and get to it. So what she decided to do, she decided to go camping. She out in the woods frolicking on her horse. She done told her guard, no, I don't want to go in no wagon. No, I don't want to go, the temple. No, I want to just leave. I do not want to be here. I'm leaving. Let's go. Only one guard. Let's go. So they out in the wood. They got their tents and they camping on the ground. She out there swimming in the lake in her long dress bathing suit. And she ain't in the castle. And I don't think nobody missed her because she don't bring no value to times of war. So she said that I'm going to need her to stay out there in that forest, though. You don't need to go back to the castle. Just go back for one day, and after that, go back out on your camping excursion. Go glamping again, because that's what it is. But you should have took your daughter with you, but I digress. Larys and Ironrod. That's the guy that I didn't get his name last week. That don't like Larys. But Larys and Ironrod, they were talking over to the side while watching Aemond strip some of the gold cloaks or the King's Guards. I think it was the King's Guards that Aegon hired. He done stripped their cloaks off of them, their white cloaks off of them or whatever. and he handling his business as regent. Well, Laris and I think his name is Ironrod. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. Ironrod, they off to the side being like, yeah, someone was riding Sea Smoke or whatever, and we don't know who it was, but we need to let Eamon know. And Laris is like, you could tell him, I ain't telling them nothing. Because Laris like, yo, you saw how that man dismissed me last week? I still ain't gave his grandfather. I ain't brought his granddaddy to him. So no, I'm not telling him a doggone thing. And Ironrod like, well, shoot, I ain't telling him. You see what he doing? He look like he about to doggone behead some people. Like, I ain't telling him. So they both slink on away, which was hilarious. But they didn't tell him, his counsel ain't telling him what he need to know. At least rise some suspicion so that he could be prepared. They ain't trying to tell Eamon nothing, but okay. Raina, like I said, she's up in the Vale or whatever, and she's supposed to be leaving the Vale to go to Pentos because the prince or king of Pentos is supposed to be putting her and I believe her youngest two brothers up so that they can have some protection while this war is going on. But while they're leaving, she turns back and she looks at Lady Erin. Something about Lady Erin I just don't like. Something about her just gives me traitor vibes. I don't know why. I just don't like her. But Raina is walking away, and as soon as the doors shut to the Vale, Raina goes off of the trail and away from the caravan that's supposed to be giving her safe passage, I think, to supposed to be her guards or whatever, to the ship or whatever. And she goes off, and I think she's looking for that riderless dragon, that rogue dragon. But they didn't show whether or not she caught that dragon. So I guess we'll hopefully, fingers crossed, that we'll find that out next episode, okay? But let's continue. Let's go on over to Jace. Jace is upset, y'all, because of the plan that he presented, but he didn't think fully through and through, okay? So as y'all know, last week, Sea Smoke claimed Adam to be his rider, okay? And we're going to get more into that later. But in this particular episode, Jace is upset about it because he's like, he's a lowborn. Like what we're going to ask for all these lowborns, all these bastards to come and try to claim a dragon? And his mama is like, what would you have me do? Like, this was your idea, if anything. Like, boy, this was your idea. But he was like, did you not think about how I would be questioned with the succession when you laid down with Sir Harwin Strong? I was like, little boy, number one, first and foremost, take some of that bass out your voice. Okay? That's number one. Take some of that bass out your voice. Number two, you are her heir. She done said it, she done meant it, and she ain't never said no, never mind to nobody else about who your daddy was. To her, your daddy was Lenor Valerian. Okay? Valerian. Corliss baby that ran away to go have juices and berries and oranges over in the places across the sea. I don't know what those places are called. I can't think of it right now. But anyway, he ran away with his lover. Okay, so you shut your face. Okay, that's that with that. Okay, number 3, 4, 5. I can't remember where I was. For you to doggone sit up here and question your mama, little boy, when it was your idea? You should have thought about that beforehand. And then he sits up there and asks his mom, like, please don't do this. And she was like, I can't. I got to go forward. I got to win this war so you can even have a throne to sit on. And he all upset about that. Jason, I'm going to need you to get out your emotions, boo. Okay? You was not sad about it when your mama told you about it from Jump Street in season 1 when you was a little boy, when you found out that Sir Harwin Strong was your daddy. But now here it is that other bastards could do what you do. Oh, well, other bastards can do what you do. Now you mad? Now you mad. So what you saying? The little boys ain't good enough to ride dragons and stand beside you? Because what does that mean? Oh, a lowborn could ride a dragon? Yeah, they could ride a dragon. Because they got that doggone Valerian blood. Some of them got that Targaryen blood inside them, little boy. Watch yourself. Jace got on my nerves. Jace got on my nerves. Jace acting like a little bitch. Listen here. You ain't... Okay, in these heated 2024 times, let me tell you something, little boy. Your Targaryen behind, half Targaryen behind, ain't no better than this doggone bastard Valerian, and none of these other bastards is coming up inside here to try to win or ride a dragon to win you a throne to sit on later. Shut your mouth and go sit down somewhere. But I digress. Okay, and then let's talk about Adam, Alan, and Corlys. Okay, so let's start out with opening up the beginning of the scene when Rhaenyra and Syrax, I believe it's her name, Syrax, and Adam and Sea Smoke, they meet on the beach head to head. When I tell you that was one of the most powerful scenes of like displays of that particular episode, dragon against dragon, Ryder standing up against Ryder. When I tell you that was so beautiful, I was like, oh, it's going down. Y'all, that thing was beautiful. It was powerful, and I loved it. So Rhaenyra was like, yo, you stand before your queen and you riding one of our dragons. And he was like, this thing rolled me down. I didn't want this. I didn't choose him. He chose me. And then immediately Adam did what? She was like, well, what do you want? He's like, he was like, and he said, I want to serve my queen and I want to learn how to ride this big bitch. Point to Syrax. And then he immediately bends a knee. And she was like, you bend your knee quite quickly to someone who's been elevated in life. And he was like, who am I to question what I've been given? It came to me, so you know what? I'm going to take full advantage of it in this moment. I was like, well, God darn it, Adam, you did good, boo. You did good, okay? So Rhaenyra asked him, like, do you think you could get this thing back to the castle? And he was like, I could try. They go back to the castle. Rhaenyra has set him up in a room, whatever. Corlys is like, okay, well, like, who's his rider? Like, what's going on? And it was like, we don't know, evidently it's a lowborn. And so, of course, Rhaenyra's councils, people on her council, they just, of course, want to go up against what she's doing. So, first thing Corlys does is he goes and see who it is that had the dragon. And he is shocked to see that it's his side baby, Adam. So he was like, okay, well, you found yourself in a really good place in your life, huh? And he was like, and he just Adam immediately asked Corlys, he was like, can I, like, I want to request that I be, relieved of my duties as one of your shipwrights. And he was like, I'm sorry, like, I'm having to put this upon you, but I need to. And he was like, no. It's okay. I understand. And, request granted or whatever. And before he leaves out, he was like, well done. And then he just leaves out. And in that moment, I guess Adam is really, really happy, or not really, really happy, but he's like, okay, finally, like, he acknowledged me, because if you saw last week's episode, we didn't see in all of the season, we didn't see any interaction with Corlys and Adam. We only saw interaction with Corlys talking to Alan. the bald one that shaves his silver, his platinum blonde hair off his head. He be shaving his hair blonde to get rid of, bald to get rid of that platinum blonde that remind everybody, like, we know that's your daddy, right? So, so, but Adam is like, okay, good. Like he does see me. He didn't have to come and acknowledge me, but he does see me. So that's one thing. But then Corliss goes off to tell Alan. He's like, hey, I just want to let you know, Queen Rhaenyra has a rider for one of her dragons, and it's a lowborn or whatever. And he was a shipwright that worked here. And Alan's like, really? And he was like, yeah, it's your brother, Adam. And he's like, whoa. And he was like, and then Corliss was like, well, Rhaenyra is going to be wanting to find more riders for the last two dragons. And if that's what you want, you could go and check it out. And Alan's like, my brother's always wanted to be something of his own, and he's found his purpose now. He's always wanted a purpose, and now he's found his purpose. He said, me, I'm of salt and sea. I'm happy right where I am. I was like, oh, Lord. Corliss, your side baby, said he's of salt and sea. Your side baby, like, listen here. This is where I am. This is where I've always been, and here's where I'm going to stay. And then he said, and then Corliss tells him, he was like, or did he tell Adam this? I can't remember. He was like, I didn't know much about your mother's heritage, but maybe this is something that's meant for you or something. I can't remember if he said that to Alan or Adam, but he said it to one of them. So possibly they mama could have been part Targaryen also. Because I was wondering how that worked. Truthfully, I was wondering how that worked. I thought possibly that it was just the fact that they had Valyrian blood in them, because that's from old Valyria, and maybe something crossed over, maybe, and that's what the dragon sensed. But I don't know. Maybe it was the mama side that had some Targaryen in her, but she ain't here no more. We'll never know. Okay. So Rhaenyra goes and she's looking through the old scrolls again, and Mysaria is saying, like, you're looking like through these scrolls. You need to be looking underneath the bed sheets, like under the sheets. We don't know who this boy parentage is, but evidently she wasn't a highborn, so evidently she was a bastard. So we need to get the word out to the ones that's like still alive now, not something that's depleted. We need to get word out to King's Landing. Shoot, she was like maybe even in this own castle, that to see who could have some Targaryen blood in them and bring them on to see if they by chance want to see if they can become a dragon rider. Like, it doesn't have to be a highborn. So they get the word out to her maid that's still in King's Landing. And she starts to spread the word. And then it gets back to the two people we needed to get back to. It gets back to Sir Hugh and a lot of other people. Don't get me wrong, you got to a lot of people. But it got to Sir Hugh. Sir Hugh talks to his wife and says, like, you know what? I'm going to go and I'm going to see about it but I didn't tell you. And she was like, why would you see about that? And he's like, well, I never told you about my parentage. Like, my mom was a she worked in a whorehouse. However, a lot of men would paid a lot of money to sleep with a woman with silver blonde hair. Now the question is, who was his mama? Okay, because I've heard a lot of conflicting stories about who his mama is. Okay, his mom may have been King Jaehaerys's daughter, Sarah, or his mama was half sister to Damon and Viserys. Damon and Viserys daddy. I don't know. It's a whole lot. I don't know. It was very, very confusing, but he part Targaryen. Okay, fine. Which explains the platinum blonde hair. I thought it was just because he was old. Goes to show you I don't know nothing. I mean, he ain't got that platinum blonde. He got that dirty platinum blonde. Like, it looked a little dark, but some blonde, but you know what I mean. Okay. Okay, but of course, Sir Hugh's wife, let's go back to what I was talking. Sir Hugh's wife don't want him to go because, of course, she reveals that, of course, they done lost a baby. She was like, I don't want to become a widow. He's like, I got to do this. So he goes off with the other people. Now, the other guy that was like episode 2, 3, something like that. The guy off that was saying like he's half brothers with Damon and Viserys. He up there doggone it, and the people come back and tell him, some black guy comes up and tells him like, dude, rumor is that they recruiting for people to ride the dragon. And the guy was like, what? He was like, yeah, they recruiting. Rhaenyra needs some people to ride the dragons or whatever if they got Targaryen blood in them. And he was like, man, you got Targaryen blood. You always said that you was half brothers with Daemon and Viserys. So, like, you should go and ride the dragon. He was like, oh man, I can't go and ride the dragon. My knee is hurting, and I can't go do that. Why don't you just say you scared? Like, I ain't gonna ride no daggone dragon. Those things can eat us, man. Like, no. So they convince him. He like, fine, I'll go. So he goes off. And it's about a good 30, maybe 40 people that went over that snuck out of King's Landing to go to Dragonstone, where Rhaenyra and the dragons are. They get on over there, and automatically the Dragon Masters, they're like, no, we're not training them nothing. We're not going to bring these people to their end again so that we can get hurt. No, we're not doing that. You get somebody else to do it because we ain't. And they leave. So then Rhaenyra, she's like, okay. And so she's like, basically follow me. And they go into the dragon pit or whatever. And she starts to sing. I can't remember. I'm kind of getting this episode and the last episode kind of mixed up together. But Vermithor, I think that's the name of the dragon. Vermithor, who is the second largest dragon now. He's just second to Vhagar. He comes on up. Another beautiful, beautiful scene is when you see this big dragon that Rhaenyra is talking old Valyrian to, and she's talking to him, and he's calmed down or whatever, and he's just looking. But when she turns and all you see is this big dragon behind her, I was like, now that's cinematic. Wow. Just saying. So you see this big dragon behind her, and she's not telling them, she's not warning them off like she did Sir Darkling. She's not warning them or nothing. She was like, and she shows them kind of what to do. But she goes up to Vermithor and she speaks Old Valyrian to them, and then he calms down and she touches him. And when she touches him, he's like calm and she's calm and they're breathing, they're okay. Then she stops and she turns around. She was like, I can't show you anything else to do. You're either going to be a writer or you're not. Who's first? So the first one to show up, his eye bulging and he looking kind of cockeyed and looked like half his face melting off. I don't know what that was. I was like, is he melting? And at first, I was like, is he melting? Is his face melting off before he could even get to the dragon? Who brought you here? Why are you here? Ike, Ike, you need to go home, Ike. Go home. He tries to sneak up to the dragon and he just a shaking. Vermithor was like, ooh, more chicken nuggets. Vermithor got to eating people and snatching them up and blowing Dracarys all over the doggone place. Some of the people automatically backed up, was trying to run away. Child, it was a mess. Vermithor got more chicken nuggets, extra crispy, right? Well, I thought for a second, I thought that Ulf got knocked down and that he fell down into like a deep, deep pit. It wasn't that deep. He just fell down some stairs or whatever. But finally, and he gets one of the torches when he wakes up or whatever. He gets one of the torches and he runs deeper, deeper, deeper into the cave. Okay, fine. But then Sir Hugh. Now I know why you here, Ike. I know why you here. Sir Hugh, like, he sees the dragon's coming, and he hides behind this like boulder, and he has a woman there with him, and then finally they try to run out and get away. And then finally he pushes her out of the way and he gets the dragon's attention. It's like, hey, and he yells the Jon Snow yell at the dragon. I don't know what they're doing with them just yelling at these dragons like they invincible, like they ain't about to become a chicken nugget, but okay. And then the dragon stops, sniffs Sir Hugh, and then he's like, okay, then I guess it's you, dude. All right, hey, how you doing? Name's Vermithor. I ain't had a ride in quite some time, but let's go. Come on, hop on. Which was just so funny. But it was good. I was like, yes, Sir Hugh. Yes. Okay. Then we go further into the cave and we see Ulf. Ulf done stepped on a dragon egg. And now we see Silverwing. Silverwing, she over there looking like, I know good and got doggone well that you didn't just step on one of my eggs. And then Sir Hugh sees the dragon. He backs up. He's on his back. He's like, ooh. And it don't come. And the dragon just like, okay, I guess you got a little bit of us inside of you. Named Silverwing. What's up? You want to go for a ride? Let's go. Because the next thing you know, Ulf is on the back of Silverwing and he is flying over King's Landing. My God, today. Flying over King's Landing. And all you hear are people saying, dragon, dragon, dragon. It's like, okay, the dragon, whatever. Aemon steps outside and he like, what? And he sees a dragon flying overhead. Aemon jumped on his horse and hauled butt out of the Red Keep. He hauls booty. And for some reason, Vhagar is not in the dragon pit. I don't know why. But he ain't in the dragon pit. He just parked outside the gates, like maybe a little like quarter, half a mile down the road. And all of a sudden you see Aemon pull up next to this big old girl. And he hops on. And now he's chasing after Ulf on Silverwing. And they're headed towards King's Landing. Let me tell you something right now. Another powerful scene in the end. Got 3 of them. The first one with Rhaenyra, with Syrax, and then Adam with Sea Smoke on the beach. Whoo! Rhaenyra with Vermithor behind her. Whoo! And then on the end, when Ulf riding Silverwing back to Dragonstone, and Aemon like, oh, I ain't gonna be able to catch him. But then Aemon clocked something. Aemon clocked all these other dragons, and they all got riders. And Aemon turned Vhagar big behind on around, and flew away. And in the end, all you see is Rhaenyra standing up there, and she got 3-4 dragons behind her, just ready to be like, and just they just roaring and just like carrying on. And whoo, child, she looking like, I'm ready. I am ready. Now, if you don't know, now you know. I got my peoples. We ready for you, and we got this. I don't know if y'all know, but Rhaenyra got a good 6 in a possible. She got a good 6 in a possible, okay? Rhaenyra got Syrax. She got Jace Dragon, which I can't remember the name of it. She got Baela Dragon, Moon Dancer. I can't remember. I think it's Moon Dancer. She has Hugh with Vermithor. She got Ulf with Silverwing, and she got Adam. She got Adam with Sea Smoke, and then she got a possible with Rhaena in the Vale trying to find that doggone riderless dragon. That girl got 6 in a possible. But I can't include Daemon Dragon because Daemon behind still out there in the Riverlands with the river folk. But let's talk about that. Doggone it, I almost forgot about them. So Daemon meets with the new Lord Tully, Oscar Tully, the young kid that came a few episodes ago, saying that he can't, his grandfather, Grover Tully, was still sick, but, last episode, Alice River helped him to pass peacefully, right? Well, Oscar, he might be a kid, but he ain't no fool. Oscar played Daemon for complete filth. You hear me? He tells Daemon, well, you didn't want to hear nothing from me the last time. And Daemon was like, you were of no help for me last time because you couldn't go over your grandfather's head. But now that you're Lord Tully and you're the the leader over the Riverlands, I forgot what it was called. Then you know what? Now, you're of help to me. So he was like, okay, all right. So now the other lords of the Riverlands, they're out there waiting. Now remember, a couple of episodes ago, they were mad at Daemon because Daemon's men with the Blackwoods, they was going out there wreaking havoc on the small folk, right? Okay. But Oscar Tully, Lord, he may be young, but he ain't no fool. That boy was like, you know what? I have to, and because the Riverland people, they was like, you knew, like, why in the world should we listen to you when you younger than some of our kids? He was like, I'm going to remember what my fathers and my grandfathers did. We pledged to King Viserys that the rightful heir was Rhaenyra. And that's just the end of it, okay? So we're going to do this. We're going to be on Daemon's side, the king consort side, because he fights for his queen. However, a debt is owed. So he looked at Daemon and he was like, you want our men or not? You're going to have to do what needs to be done. So he was like, to the Blackwood guy, the one that was on Daemon's side, he was like, hold him down. And he was like, my lord, and I think his name was William Blackwood. He was like, my king, like, I did what you told me to do. I did what you told me to do. Like, tell them to unhand me. And of course, Daemon ain't gonna do that because Daemon wants his army. Daemon took Dark Sister on out and said, shashank, to the Blackwood guy. Something tell me that ain't gonna be good in the end either because the Blackwoods were fighting for Damon, and now their guy is gone. So, woo! We shall see. But after Damon goes shashank on the Blackwood guy, he falls into another doggone dream. To where who's there again? King Viserys. Hasn't been behind me all this time. That's supposed to be on the lap, Lord. So King Viserys, I was wondering why I was cold. My blanket ain't on my lap. Lord, I digress. Anyway, so King Viserys is there, and he is looking like, I love Patty Constantine. I love him. He's an excellent actor. He's sitting there with in the old man makeup again, to where he is looking like he's about to die with the one missing eye, the hole inside his face, and all that jazz, 4-5 missing fingers and eyeballs and all that jazz, right? Basically looking like a slightly messed up version of Aegon. No, excuse me, a more messed up version of Aegon. And he's up there talking to Daemon. And he has a crown in his hand, and he offers it to Daemon. He says, do you even still want this? I was like, Daemon, you catching left and right. Number one, I done been told you're behind, because I'm tired of saying that. The thing is, like the third, fourth week I done said it. Daemon, take your behind back to your wife. But you ain't going to do that because you treacherous, because you want to sit on that throne. But you know good and well, just like Alice Rivers told you last week, I don't like that heifer. As a matter of fact, she wasn't in this episode, was she? She wasn't in this episode. Neither was Crispin Chicks. Crispin Chicks wasn't in this episode. Neither was Alice Rivers. But that's neither here nor there. But Alice Rivers done told you the reason why Viserys and Rhaenyra was so good for the role was simply because they never wanted it. Aemon is horrible for the role, even though he looks like he could be good for the role, only because he's prepared for it. He trained himself and others for it, and others trained him for the role. But in truth, he shouldn't have it either. Aegon should never have had it. If anything, you should have gave that thing to Helena. Give it to Helena. Helena got some vision. She would have did better with it. But I digress. Anyway. But that part was so powerful, because the question is, yet again, do you still even want this, or are you doing it just so you can get back at some slight, because you still feel slighted because Viserys gave it to your wife, your niece wife. Okay. Y'all, this episode had a lot, but it just showed so much, and I just want to know where we're going with this last episode. We still missing Otto. Evidently, Duran, Alicent's youngest baby, the 16-year-old, he's coming in with his dragon. Otto's still gone. Duran coming in. We don't know where Crispin Chicks is. Maybe he off winning the war with the Lannisters and Gawain. We don't know what in the world is going to go on with Daemon and the Riverland people now, because I don't trust none of it. You just beheaded your one guy that was actually on your side. I don't know what's going on. And but Rhaenyra is looking good for Team Black, because that girl got 6 and a possible on her hand. If you play spades, you know what I'm talking about. That girl got a good 6 books and possibly one more if Rhaena could get this doggone abandoned dragon doggone it in the Vale. If she get that dragon, Rhaenyra got 7. So right now, until we get Rhaena on a dragon, Rhaenyra got 6 and a possible. And I think and they only got 3 on Team Green. Now they got that big Vega. They got Vega, they got Dreamfire, Helena's Dreamfire, and they got Duran's Dragon 2, and I don't know his name. However, maybe next episode we'll finally see what in the world this youngest child looked like. Maybe. I don't know. Anyway, that's it, y'all. Lord have mercy. We got one more episode. And I can tell you right now, I will get that next episode up a lot sooner because of the fact that the day after the last episode, I don't have to work. I'm off that day. So, so I will be getting that episode up probably that Monday, no later than that Tuesday. So I hope you guys have been enjoying these reviews. I'm hoping to do more reviews here on my channels, on movies and on series. There's a lot of series probably that I should get into, like a lot that I just have not seen. So maybe we could do some watch alongs, maybe, okay? But that is it. That's all. I ain't got no more, and I will see you guys in the next video.